Warning. The following program is intended for a mature audience. It may contain language or opinions that are not suitable for some listeners.
This week on the show, 2 Cents is late. Also, 2 Cents is not on time. And by the way, 2 Cents is late. It is September 30th, 2019. This is the Late 2 Cents Show. Hey guys, how's it going? I am the late to the ranting Gryphon. Welcome to the late 2 Cent Show. This is the late Featherhoof sitting over here. How you doing, late Featherhoof?
Late,
bitch. This was my fault. It was my fault that it was late. And I'm gonna blame the telemarketers. I'm blaming telemarketers.
That was an interesting message.
I'm gonna blame the telemarketer, and the reason why I'm gonna blame the telemarketer, hey, we're all into taking blame from this long chain of people that you go finally down to, and it's like that's how. Okay, so telemarketers, I sleep during the day a lot, and telemarketers call me, I get robocalls all the time, and because I get robocalls all the time, my brain does not register the phone ring anymore. So the phone will ring and my brain is like, oh, telemark, don't even wake up. And it doesn't even wake up. So me stupidly, dumbly, I decided, hey, Featherhoof, I'm gonna take a little bit of a nap. Whenever you're ready to record, call me. Now, it's in my head. The information is in my brain that the phone will not wake me up. I know this somewhere in my brain. But I lay down and I go to sleep and I wake up nearly in the morning. I mean, it's almost sunrise. And I'm like, well, what, did he forget my numbers? I look at him, he called me 15 times.
Yes.
And I'm like,
I tried.
You really tried.
I tried.
He really, really tried to get me up, and my brain just slept right through it. So, yeah, that's what happened.
By that point, I could have flown out there and kicked you awake at the time it took me to call you that many times.
Nearly could have, actually. Yeah, you could have. But hey, I noticed this week I walked outside early in the morning because I was going to take a little bit of a. I know. Well, I was going to take a little bit of a walk around because I take, when I can, I take a small walk around. Walk outside and I smelled the air. I smelled that it was cold. It was nice and cool. And I smelled this blustery air that reminded me that Justin Trudeau wears blackface. That's what I was reminded of. Is what the fuck? We have gone into winter now, and of course, now we have Justin Trudeau who's in blackface 3 times now.
What the fuck?
Well, and the funny thing is, if it was now, I don't have a stake in this fight. I'm a leftist, but I'm also a libertarian, so I'm in the center of this. So, but I can look across and I can see if a Republican had worn blackface once, they would be gone. They'd be just done. It'd be over.
Oh, yeah.
We have Justin Trudeau wearing blackface 3 times on video, and they're like, oh, well, people screw up sometimes. It's like, oh, really? Is that how this works? Is that how we're doing this? Oh, brother. We're all gonna get canceled, all of us. Every single one of us.
By somebody, it's just gonna take that one time, just offending the wrong person.
Well, it's eventually gonna wind up until there's just one person left, and that one person, he's just gonna have to cancel himself eventually. That's this last person.
I offended the hell out of me. I will never watch anything I do again.
I'm canceling me now. And then it'll all be over.
None of my hard-earned income will go to supporting me, the asshole.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hey, For now, let's get on into the news.
Please, bring in the world news.
So, Kobe Richardson was just 16 years old when another young man he thought was his friend riddled him with bullets. It's not the thing. Not a thing that your friends do, but Sally Hazelgrove was one of the first faces he saw when he woke up from a coma in the hospital. That's one of the reasons Richardson, now 19, is fiercely defending the woman known as Miss Sally, who embroiled in controversy after a viral video showed her cutting off his dreadlocks 2 years ago. The social media onslaught, it began when Hazelgrove's organization, Crushers Club, which help at-risk youth in Chicago through boxing and mentoring, received a $200,000 donation from Inspire Change by a social justice collaboration between Rock Nation, a company which founded by Jay-Z and the NFL, mostly unknown Twitter account with the handle of, and there's a big handle there, I'm not going to read that, dug up in 2016, a tweet from the Crushers Club account that shows Hazelgrove, who is white, cutting off the dreadlocks of two black male teenagers, Richardson and another unidentified teen. The backlash to the video was so intense that Hazelgrove was forced to make an apology via the Crushers Club Twitter account. Richardson said it was a huge misunderstanding, and so irked. Is that what it is? So irked, he made a video. Defending Miss Hazelgrove and Crushers Club, which was posted by media outlet TMZ. So basically, what we have here.
Oh, this is posted by TMZ, was it?
But what we have here is a woman who was out, and she was doing this thing. She's caught up in in a bunch of cultural kind of rescue clubs, right?
Okay.
And she's out there, and she gets these two teenagers who they don't want to be gang members anymore. I mean, one of them got shot up by his best friend. So they don't want to be gang members anymore. So they go in to get their dreadlocks cut off, and here is a white woman cutting their dreadlocks off. So she got called a racist and a Nazi and everything else. And
but they voluntarily said, "Hey, cut our dreadlocks." Yeah. Isn't she just went up and said, hey, "You should cut off your dreadlocks"? They went voluntarily cut off my dreadlocks.
Yeah, they wanted their dreadlocks off, and so she cut them off. And now, of course, she's the worst person in the world because she cut black people's dreadlocks off.
My God. So wait. So now we have to have. Wasn't the whole? Were we supposed to get rid of segregation? Do we have to go back to having just segregated barbers now to make sure that nobody's a fucking racist?
Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that all these people who run around and they call everybody Nazi and racist? They're the ones that are trying to segregate everything. Yeah. They're trying to segregate. These are the people that are trying to segregate black from white housing at universities. They're trying to segregate, black and white barbers again. They're trying to take us back to the 1940s, and they're the ones running around calling everybody else a racist. What the hell is going on in this world? I don't know.
Literally, the only phrase they're missing is "Make America Great Again." Oh, wait! There's already a group using that phrase.
Oh, whoops. Yeah, we already got that going on. Oh, well. Man, this kind of thing is just, it's look, guys, I'm gonna say something here. It's going to get worse. Okay, I want to say this because I'm of an olditude. Can I make that word up?
Hey, you're the English major. You know what? I defer to you on making up words.
I'm of an olditude that I've seen patterns. I've seen social patterns come and go, and they all wrap in circles. I've seen this pattern come and go. I've seen what happens here. So I'm not too worried about it. Right now, it's going to be bad for some people, but it's going to be good again. And right now, it's just getting so bad because you have the people who call themselves anti-fascists, who are the fascists. You have anti-racists, who are the racists. Nobody's holding a mirror up to these people because otherwise they'd be freaked out. You know, they wouldn't be able to, they'd lose their damn mind. So, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, it's literally like the human condition. Because, I mean, back in the day, you know, we had these, you know, we're just super patriots, but they're doing the most unpatriotic shit in the universe.
Yeah,
you know, it's like shit that's like just straight up un-American. But like, we're the patriots, you know, of this country. It's like, yeah, but if you were real patriots, you wouldn't be supporting that bullshit. But you are. You know, I mean, it's, you know, it's not like second, you know, it's not like just the left does it, it's just the right does it. It's a human condition. It's because it's like, whenever I want to be right, that's the thing I'm going to back, even though it makes me look like a complete hypocrite.
Well, if you think, okay, if you think back to like, you know, I'd say the 50s especially, if the 50s through maybe the 70s, early 80s, you had people who were very Christian. You know, there's a lot of Christian people, and the Christian people, they're the ones who says, you can't say this, you can't do that, you can't.
Yes.
And so they're the kinds of people that they're not running around and saying, just let me be me. They're saying, no, you have to change. You've got to change for me.
Yes.
Now, that kind of died out for, you know, a few decades. That wasn't that way anymore. Now it's being picked up again, and I know that you know, the extreme left doesn't believe themselves to be a religion, but they are. They are absolutely a religion.
I don't know.
No, I can prove it in so many different ways, and I plan on doing that. But they're right now, they're the people who are saying that for me, for things to be right to me, you have to change. You have to change your language. You have to change the way you behave. You have to change what your lifestyle is. You have to do something different to make me comfortable and happy. And
yeah, okay, that I'll agree with.
My reaction to that, as always, is fuck you. Fuck. I'm not. That's not my job on the planet. It's no.
Well, I mean, I think that something like that should be like, it's not, you know, one should always try to strive to be a better person.
Well, of course.
One should always try to be the best person they can. And sometimes it does take another person to go, hey, you are being an asshole, to like make you realize, oh, wait, is that being an asshole? I didn't realize, you know, to evaluate yourself. You know, I don't think it should be just dismissed outright that, you know, if someone comes up to you and say, you need to change, and you just go, fuck off. You know, we should evaluate. You should evaluate that ourselves.
I totally agree with that. But the problem here is that would require discussion. And discussion that's the big D word. That's the word we don't do over on the extreme left. We don't discuss. Discussion is bad because that can take your mind out of the cultural tribal mindset. You know, we can't do that anymore. We can't have discussions. We can't talk. And if you try to talk to them, they won't talk to you. They'll just say, no, I'm not going to talk to a Nazi. And then they'll run away. There's no discussion. You can't make anything up. You can't come to a reasonable understanding with anyone if they won't discuss anything with you. So it's just kind of, you know, at this point, it's turning kind of bad. It's turning kind of crappy.
Yeah, the only thing that really, like, the thing that's also stood out to me in this story is apparently, I mean, if I heard you right, is like this whole thing was brought to light by TMZ of all fucking places.
Well, yeah, of course.
And if anyone's listening to if anyone is listening to anything brought forth by TMZ, you need to have yourself lobotomized.
Yeah, or either that or you already were lobotomized. That's why it makes sense. So, anyway, let's move on to the next story here. The headline alone is worth everything it's for.
I always love these.
A truck carrying gaming dice spills onto highway, rolls a perfect 756,000. On Friday, September 13th, a truck bound for Georgia-based tabletop and video game company Trivium took a turn too sharply, spilling 200,016 gaming dice onto Interstate 75 in Atlanta. And what could be the biggest unintentional dice roll ever?
I want to know if did the driver roll a natural one?
I'm sure he rolled several of them, but According to Trivium Studios community manager, speaking to Kotaku about the incident, the truck was carrying 3 pallets of Chezik 6-sided gaming dice for use in an unannounced tabletop game. Approximately half of the truck's load wound up strewn across the busy freeway on Friday afternoon. Atlanta Hero, the highway emergency response operators units, helped Trivium employees to clean up the mess using brooms and shovels to salvage what they could. While losing a substantial amount of pricey dice isn't great, Trivium's representative said the company, which plans to unveil the game associated with all these dice closer to its planned early 2020 launch, maintains a positive attitude. Quote, though unfortunate it happened, nobody got hurt, and now an unofficial world record for the largest dice roll in history. Considering the average roll of 2 6-sided dice is around 7, and approximately 200,016 dice were rolled. Trivia estimates the roll totaled to about 756,000 on the pavement. The truck was undamaged, having made its saving throw.
Yes, I would like to cast what's a spell that uses D6's damage? I'm just saying magic missile. I would cast magic missile at 40th level. Okay, roll a truck worth of D6s.
Yeah, I'll tell you, if anybody has ever successfully attacked the darkness, it was this truck. Okay, the truck actually successfully attacked the darkness, and now we don't have to worry about it anymore. The darkness has been killed. It's been overthrown. It's all good. So,
do we see the elf now? Is the elf with the gray eyes? Is he there?
Yeah, the elf is gonna be there, and it's all gonna be.
Yay! So, we had the bees. We had the truck of bees spill.
Yeah.
In another episode of Two Says, we had the truck of shit that spilled out. Now we have the truck of dice.
Well, we got another truck coming up here, even though it wasn't exactly a truck.
Oh.
It was more like a building. But I think you guys will find this one fun. And by the way, many of you, I found this news story before many of you sent it to me, because some of our fans out there sent these in, sent this particular story in. So I gotta do this one, gotta do it. I'm sure you heard about this one too. A huge fire at a cattle breeding facility in Australia. You know exactly where I'm going.
Yes, I do.
Has caused thousands of dollars of damage after at least 100 cylinders containing bull semen were destroyed. Cows were impregnated for 20 miles. Emergency services were called to the blaze in the early hours at Yarram Herd Services in Gippsland, Victoria. This is in Australia, of course. According to ABC, it took 10 fire crews more than 2 hours to fully extinguish the fire after it broke out around 3 a.m. local time. A spokesman from the County Fire Authority told Daily Mail Australia that the fire had completely shredded the building. Country Fire Authority Gippsland Commander Chris, I can't read that at all. That's some Irish name or something. Schleigelhofen.
You can do it.
Schleigelhofen said the crew had to be wary of quote-unquote projectiles coming at them while they tackled the blaze.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, if I had the balls to be a firefighter, because let's be honest, it takes balls to be a firefighter. You know, those dudes are those dudes are hard fucking core. But if I was out there, I went in there to fight a blaze, and I came out of that blaze covered in, boiling hot bull semen that exploded on me, I'd just be like, fuck this, I quit. I'm done.
What about, I kind of wonder, couldn't they have sent the gay brigade? You know, I mean, there has to be gay firefighters. You know, because they could have sent the gay firefighters out to fight this thing, and they get blown up on and with the bull steam, and they're like, oh, yeah, so it's nice and steamy hot. Yay, let's put this fire out, guys. Yeah.
Wait.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, hey, you got to keep bull semen somewhere, so
hey, you know what this means though? That means that there's a lot of happy bulls out there. Because they're going to need to replenish their stock, boys.
Oh yeah,
here we go.
They're sitting there in their barn watching this thing going down. It's like, it's hand time again, guys. We get to go in and make a bunch more of this shit. Oh yeah. Put on football games in front of them, and give them some Red Bulls, and there they go. You can just get all the bull semen you want, and yeah, it's gonna be. But well, I don't want to be. I mean, here I am, and I'm a homosexual male, and I don't want to be splattered with animal semen. I don't think anybody.
No,
nobody wants to be splattered with animal semen. Nobody wants that.
Well, nobody should. But unfortunately, you know that there are people out there.
There are people. Well, we'll leave it. You know what? There are people. There are just people. We're gonna have to.
Yeah.
That's one we're gonna have to stick with, because there are just people that just. Yeah. That they're okay with that. Finally, last bit of news for you today. Streaming service Twitch. Do you know where I'm going with this? Has banned Bees on My Head TV.
Yeah.
From its platform for the foreseeable future after he was carjacked and shot at during a live broadcast.
Yeah.
So just to make this clear for you guys, obviously, Twitch doesn't like violent. They don't like violent content, right?
Yeah.
Which nobody really does. I mean, YouTube bans it. They all ban it. It's all banned. You can't do that. But this is a guy who was carjacked and shot at on a live stream. Something that he had no concept was going to happen.
No control over, not pre-planned.
No.
Just one of those random acts of violence that happen, and not only did he get shit on by the random act of violence, but then Twitch basically goes, fuck you for being a victim of this random act of violence, motherfucker.
Exactly. How dare you broadcast this thing that you had no idea was going to happen? While in real-life broadcasting, it is a popular category in streaming websites such as Twitch and YouTube, sometimes it also brings a harsh reminder that life stops for no one, and unexpected and unpredictable things can happen. IRL streamer Bees on My Head found this out the hard way during his live stream September 14th after he was suddenly shot at and carjacked. Twitch suspended his account for the behavior caught on camera and has since informed the streamer that he won't be getting it back anytime soon. So
that is bullshit.
That's a load of bullshit. So any of you guys out there, I know there's a lot of you guys out there that some of you guys stream on Twitch. I get it, but just kind of understand where they're coming from here. They don't care if it's an accident. They don't care what the situation is. They're in it for business, and this is something that I think a lot of people forget, is that YouTube and Twitch and Google, they're all in it for business.
Yes.
And if something happens to you that's unfortunate, you didn't mean to do it, they're not here to play judge and jury. They're just going to say nope, and it's over.
Now, I don't know this person, this Bees on My Head. I've never heard of them before this story broke. I don't know their content. I don't know if they've been in previous trouble with Twitch before, and this is like one of those last straw situations. But all I know is that I gotta get this dude props for his name, because that is a fantastic handle.
Bees on My Head, yeah. Bees on My Head TV. It makes you think watching his channel, you're gonna start running around and screaming bees on your head. It's just like, it's what's gonna happen.
I mean, instantly, like just alone the name, it's just like the logo opportunities are just brilliant.
Oh, absolutely. Well, yeah. I mean, once you get somebody to, come through and make yourself a fine logo, and hopefully that logo is a picture of a head with bees on it.
Bees on it.
I mean,
yes,
you would think that'd have to be it,
after be it.
Be it. Oh, bees. Oh, no. Oh gosh. Oh, well, that's the head of my conversation there. It's got bees on it, and everything. So yeah. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that we're looking forward to here. Is I'm thinking, and I've heard this before from much more intelligent commentators than I, that the golden age of the internet, where you could just, have a YouTube channel and have a Twitch channel and you could upload things and stream, it's coming to an end. It's going to get over with. It's coming to an end. And I mean, they're already starting to, YouTube is already starting to mute and take away people's videos that are just on the right but not on the left for the 2020 elections. They're trying to actually manipulate the election by taking away right-wing points of views, which is, well, I think it should be criminal, personally.
Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, here's the thing, it's their platform. I mean, it's not like they're the only platform. You can go to another platform.
Well, here's the thing. They're a platform, but they can't decide what they are. They decide they're a platform, and by deciding they're a platform, they get away with a lot of things that they get different taxation, they get different things, but they're not being a platform, they're being a publisher. A publisher is different from a platform. Publisher decides what goes on and what doesn't go on. So they're deciding what goes on and what doesn't go on, but they're still maintaining, no, we're a platform, not a publisher. So it's getting really legally stupid. It's getting legally stupid on them.
But it's also at the same time they're being forced to be a publisher, though, because if they need the dollars that they get from advertising, to get that profit. And if advertisers pull out because I don't want my ads being associated with blah and blah, then those ads don't get put on the platform. They don't get the money from those ads.
Well, but I mean, that's a big problem there, though, because I mean, you have people, independent news networks. Well, not networks, but people like, Tim Pool and people like Kyle Kulinski and Ben Shapiro. You have people all over the place. They're reporting the same things that are on normal, news channels, mainstream news channels. Yeah. Now, they get their ads pulled. They get their ads pulled for talking about the same things that they talk about on mainstream news channels. The mainstream news channels, they don't get their ads pulled. It's right there. The same people, they're perfectly happy to, advertise on mainstream news channels, but not on independent news channels for the same stories. So it's a little messed up here. YouTube is deciding to be a publisher, but they're taking all of the benefits of being a platform. And that's going to come to some kind of legal head here pretty soon. I think it will.
Possibly. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
We will see what happens. But until then, guys, let's move on out of the news. Let's go into some fun stuff here. Let's do our WTF theater.
For the sake of balls, we must consult the theater.
All right, guys, let's go to picture number 1.
Please like and share this post. It's cute.
It's a fine post. It looks fine to me. I mean, it's a very tall and wooden post. So yeah.
I don't know. I mean, look at the way that it's slightly leaning to the right. One day that post is going to come back and it's going to haunt them.
And I wonder, how do you share? How do you share a post like that? What do you do?
Well, looking at the state of the wood underneath that sign where it's all cracking and shit, I have a feeling it's going to get shared with a vehicle sometime in the near future.
And maybe shared with that truck that's behind it, right? Let's go on to number 2. Oh, naturally, of course.
Oh,
that.
what is it? Like, why is it, like, you never notice, we love dressing up our animals in stupid shit. But
Yeah, we do.
Look at the animals when we do it, and they're just like, I hate you.
Yeah, well, especially cats. Especially cats. I mean, when you put a hat on a snake, they don't look terribly upset with that. But when you do it, when you put a bread on a cat's face, they always are sitting there looking at you like, why the fuck do you exist? They don't care. It's like
the shit that I put up with for food in my bowl.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Let's go to the next one here. Well then. That's a happy bride, I think. I don't really want to say anything.
To be perfectly honest, I'm terrified to say anything about this picture. I'm terrified to say,
yeah, I don't want to say anything because if I do, somebody could come after me for it. I don't want to say nothing.
Why did you put this in here, asshole?
I guess so we couldn't say anything about it. I don't know, but yeah, that's, yeah.
You know what? I'll say this. I wish the happy couple nothing but the best.
Yes, and very fine tiara there as well. I think
absolutely, yeah.
Very, very nice tiara. We'll move on. Number 4. Tomorrow, another cool start. War and sunny again. Well, welcome to America.
The headline you will see every morning during the nuclear apocalypse.
Exactly. It's that's our life right now. So yeah, I guess it's got to go on. Let's go to number 5.
Wow.
Something. I mean, R2D2 got pissed. R2D2 got pissed off here, and he's not going to put up with C-3PO anymore. He's going to bust him right in the face because C-3PO was always insulting him. So now he's just ready to take on the Empire all on his own. Yeah.
That time where R2 got shot when he was in the back of the X-Wing.
Yep.
He's coming back for revenge.
He's coming back. That's what he's doing.
Looks like someone like repurposed like a Hulkbuster Iron Man armor.
Well, okay, now I'm looking at this and I'm seeing behind, if you look behind him, there's on the right side, there's paintbrushes. On the left side, there's a glass of water that looks like it has blue paint in it.
Oh yeah, this is custom painted.
Yeah, it's totally. I think this whole thing was just custom made. So, which, in that sense, it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, just R2's head on the top. That's just weird. All right, next one, number 6.
Grandma uses blow dryer to make drivers slow down.
I actually saw this. This isn't fake. That was an actual news story. There was this grandma that was sitting out there with a hairdryer and pointing it at cars so that they'd slow down, so that people would think it's a speed gun.
Oh, is that what's going on?
Yeah.
I would have slowed down just because I saw a person who's out in the road.
Well, yeah, that's probably why most people slow down, is they didn't want to hit the person who's sitting in the road in a chair. Trying to blow her hair dry in the wrong direction. I mean, God. What the hell, man? So, yeah, that's a interesting story.
But you got to admit, all the people who drove past her, their hair was fabulous.
Oh yes, they got their hair blown real good. Number 7. And this is the way that you walk your chicken.
Oh, I did. Wow, I did not even see the chicken.
You didn't notice the chicken. Yeah.
No, I'm looking at the guy, and I'm like, okay, what's this? The guy, and I'm slowly moving down the picture, going, well, maybe it's the clouds. It's the cloud. No. Oh, hi, chicken. And wait, chicken.
This is the way you walk. That's the way you walk your chicken. Chicken's just gonna sit there and be like, okay, I'm cool with this. Let's go to number 8. Ladies' intimates. And we have yeah, we have well, there's Pooh Bear, there's a panda,
and some Eeyore and a cow.
Yeah, I think those are unicorns.
But next between Pooh and the unicorns, there's a cow.
Yeah, and then there's unicorns there. So yeah, this is what you want your ladies to dress up in, I guess.
That is at Walmart.
Is it? I don't know. Are you sure?
No, that is absolutely Walmart. That sign up there, I know that font well because I shot a grocery shop at Walmart. That is straight up Walmart.
Well,
Walmart's trying to tell the ladies that shop there something.
Yeah, maybe so. I think maybe they're trying to tell them to get into bestiality.
Either that, or they're like directly trying to corner the furry market.
Maybe that. Let's go to number 9.
Yes!
That kid's gonna grow up to be evil as shit, man.
What are you talking about? Grow up? Look at him now. Look at him. Yeah,
he's already sitting there with this devilish grin on his face.
Oh my god! Look at the shape of the child's head, and then look at Vigo. Oh my god!
Oh,
that is Vigo's child.
Oh no! That's so funny.
Vigo the Carpathian.
Oh,
have shit my diaper.
Who would do this to their kid?
I would. Me, absolutely. I am telling you now. If I ever had a kid, I would so put a painting of Vigo over it.
That's pretty awesome. I gotta say, that's pretty awesome.
Think about it. When it grows up to be a little shit and it causes all this, all the problems that children's cause, you go, it's not my fault. Vigo possessed it.
Vigo did it. Vigo. Yeah.
I parented the best I could. Vigo did it.
And finally, let's go to number 10. Ha!
Oh my god. Oh my god. What?
Ladies and gentlemen, throb loudly. Always throb loudly. Don't throb quietly. Throb proudly, proudly. Throb proudly. Don't throb in shame. Throb proudly.
I can't imagine how that. Is there somewhat? I don't get it.
What do you mean you don't get it? You're a horse. How do you not get throb proudly?
In a naughty sense.
Well, of course, you're a horse. Horses stand around throb proudly all the time. Come on.
But it's just like, how can they get away with putting that on the shelf? Just like selling a shirt like that in public. That has to be something else.
Well, there's no bad words in it. So
I guess.
I don't know. Either way, that's what we got for WTF Theater this weekend, guys. This week, because now it's late. But either way, we're going to go off onto a little picture break along with Tyro. And we're going to be back in a few minutes, and we'll see you then.
Hi guys, welcome to the Aussie Minute with Tyro Thunderdrone. Today's topic has actually been suggested by a viewer, Snowcat, Tasmanian Devils. Unfortunately, these small black things are not the cartoon type. Although, I wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden on a remote section of Australia something did start spinning and causing dust devils and making everything go screaming panicking. But the real Tasmanian Devil is about the size of a small dog, stocky, muscular, black colouring, generally seems cute. Until you take into account that they stink to high heaven and have an annoying, screeching voice. Hey, that sounds like the typical Australian. But I digress. These little buggers used to be all over Australia, but about 3,000 years ago, dingoes appeared on the island. Yeah, that's right, dingoes, side note, actually weren't native to this land until about, 3,000 years ago when they just hopped over the sea. Not good for the animals. But the Tasmanian Devil's closest relatives are something called a quoll, which I'll be covering in another minute, and the sadly extinct and very distantly related to the Tasmanian tiger, which everybody knows as the thylacine. And like the thylacine and the dingo, these guys were sadly blamed by farmers for livestock disappearances. Though if you can imagine a cow being dragged away to something the size of a small dog, that is much, much closer to the Looney Tunes than you'd ever expect. Now this was a bit harsh to the Tasmanian Devils because they can only have 4 pups at a time. They have large litters of pups when they're born, but unfortunately the pouch, which faces backwards again, it's kind of a trend in Australia, don't you think? Only has 4 nipples, meaning that only 4 babies can ever reach maturity. The rest are just, I don't know, mum maybe eats them. which wouldn't be shocking because these things are both scavengers and active hunters. In fact, one of the problems about them being scavengers is they tend to eat things that are dead on the side of the road, meaning that these poor animals get knocked as well. Never a fun thing when you're eating dinner and suddenly a semi-trailer goes smacking into your nose. But the worst threat to these guys is unfortunately called facial tumor disease, which is like cancer raids, and I wish I was making that up, but it's the best explanation I've ever heard. Now, this is particularly bad because Tasmanian devils do not really get along. They don't have lifelong mates, they don't stick by each other through thick and thin. It's pretty much bang, 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 off you go, love. And this means that they're territorial as fuck and they get into a lot of fights, especially over food. And unfortunately, when they bite each other, this means that it can be passed from devil to devil, and it makes them break out in tumors that makes it unable to eat properly, or they just get infected and they die. This is being combated with wild specimens being taken out of the wild and being put in a sterile environment where they can be raised and bred in captivity and later released into the wild, because these things do not need any help hunting. But this has been the Aussie Minute with Tyro Thunderdrone. Thanks guys, and I'm off to Tasmania!
Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back from the break. I hope you enjoyed your pictures and Tyro there. By the way, if you want to send in pictures, we love to show off your pictures on the breaks. You can send them into dear2letters@hotmail.com. And the first pictures that we get, the newest pictures, we always show them first. So you'll get to see them next week. And then after that, they go into the bigger pile of, we've got a huge amount of pictures at this point that were all sent in from watchers of 2 Cents In and before a beer cast. And so yeah, you get to see those if you get to watch the second break, which is generally for that's for patrons, but we'll talk about Patreon later. For right now, we're gonna go into the holidays, but because we missed last week's show and that one was Hoofy's fault, This one was late because of me, but last week's was Hoofy's fault.
It was not. It was my wife's fault. Get it right.
Well, we'll just all blame your wife. It's your wife's fault.
Works for me.
Your wife's fault for a lot of things, you know. But
It's her fault that she was born that weekend. I can't help it.
So we'll go into the holidays, but we're gonna go into the holidays that happened last week. Then we're gonna get to see the holidays that we didn't get to experience.
What are your holidays? Teen twine.
So Monday, last week, in case you guys didn't know, was the first day of autumn, and it makes sense. Totally makes sense because it's getting a lot cooler over here, and
first day of the best season of the year.
You know what? I'm glad you agree with me on that because fall is my favorite season. Always has been.
Absolutely.
I love watching everything die. That's just me. I like watching it fall apart and falling to dust right in front of my eyes. So.
Winter is too cold, spring is too wet, and summer is too goddamn hot. Fall, just right.
Just perfect.
Just right.
And like I was saying at the first of the show, I actually went outside. I did go outside early yesterday morning, and I walked outside, and it was not just cold. It was that cold that you can smell and feel the winteriness. You can, it's like, oh, I'm feeling some winter coming out of here. So it was that day. So it's like, okay, it's time. Tuesday was National Cherries Jubilee Day.
Ooh.
Uh-huh. Yep.
That's a good day.
I don't know if you like cherries or do you? If you like cherries, then that'd be great for you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hell yeah.
I'm sorry for this one, Hoofy. We missed this one. Wednesday was National Comic Book Day.
Oh, is that the day where they give out the free comic?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. Shit.
Yeah.
I totally missed it this year. Damn it.
Yeah, that went by. Thursday, also a good one. National Pancake Day. So, I personally, I like pancakes, but I don't like the syrup.
I'm a waffle guy, personally. I will take waffle over a pancake any day of the week.
Ah, I got you there. Yeah. See, with my pancakes, I like them with like butter. Just like put butter on them, and maybe just a touch of syrup. Just like maybe a tablespoon of syrup, and that's about all I want on it. But that would have been my pancake day. Friday was Chocolate Milk Day. National Chocolate Milk Day.
Hey, that was the day that the leftover chocolate milk that I had from the milk. It was a chocolate milkshake day. Went bad.
Well, there you go. That's what. Yep. It went bad because it passed Chocolate Milk Day. It was like, well, I'm no good anymore, and there it went. Saturday was International Rabbit Day, which I am personally fond of. What? I love
rabbits.
But what are you talking about? They're the tastiest things in the world. Well, how can you be against rabbits? It's a great lunch, man.
Oh, that's what you birds. You birds.
We love rabbits. Rabbits are just tasty. And Sunday, and I'm sure you're gonna be fine with this one. Sunday was National Coffee Day. So I know you're not so fond of coffee, but for those who are.
I have like the weirdest relationship with coffee. I love the smell of coffee. Like it's just like there's a pot of brewing coffee. It's just like, this is amazing. But then you put that in a cup, and I put that up to my face, like get that out of my face. What the fuck is that?
Well, I can see that. That happens with some foods, too. Personally, I like coffee, but I have to drink decaf coffee. I can't have caffeinated anything, so.
So you don't drink coffie then?
Yeah, I don't drink
decaf
coffee.
Is not coffee.
Yeah, decaf coffee isn't. Although there are some that taste pretty close, but still, it's not the same. Yeah. But either way, we're gonna move on to Dear Two Letters.
It's Dear Two Letters.
Okay, this one, interesting opening. 2 cents. Just wanted to apologize for getting agitated in last week's letter, but censorship means a lot to me as an author. I'd love to sit down and talk to you and Featherhoof about history and philosophy, but it's not something that can really be unpacked within the letter section of the show. In the meantime, pass me some of that human wolves are hungry. And this from Ruin. Honestly, now, here's the funny thing. I don't remember anybody being agitated in a letter.
No.
I don't.
Well, I mean, it was 2 weeks ago, but I mean,
well, yeah,
I have
but
a hard time remembering 2 hours ago, but
yeah, I don't remember. I find that, and this is a thing that happens with me a lot. I don't know if it happens with you, but I find that with the younger generation now, they've been taught that they have to apologize for everything. And so I find that people will come up to me and they'll say, hey, Tu, can I talk to you? And I'll be like, yeah, sure, you can talk to me. And they'll be like, okay, well, I want to say this and that and this and that. Oh, by the way, I apologize if I'm bothering you. And every time that they write to me and send me something new, they'll apologize that they're bothering me. Oh, I apologize if that's offensive. Oh, I apologize. It's like, shut up, just talk. You don't have to apologize for everything you say. You know, you just don't have to do that. So, I didn't feel that anybody was agitated, so I'm fine.
I kind of take a different approach on that. I think a lot of people read differently.
Well, maybe, yeah.
That's like this person. What was it? What was the name again?
Rune.
Now, Rune probably, felt that they wrote it and it came off sounding, agitated. But, when you were reading it and I was listening to it, the way you read it didn't sound agitated.
Well, it
just sounded like an informative statements.
It didn't seem like it was agitating. So I'm fine with it. I'm okay. Nobody here's offended. It's very hard to offend me or Featherhoof. I'll tell you that. It's we don't get offended at every little thing. So yeah.
Nah. See, we're what the kids call cool. We're chill, Daddy-o.
Yeah, we're your daddies. That's what we are. Dear Tu and Featherhoof, this is the first time I've written a letter, even though I've basically been following you all. The awesome you radiate since Apocalypse of Cute. Oh, okay. Well, I'm a little dismayed that Jibbit isn't on the show anymore. Featherhoof's reactions to the stupidity, funny WTF letters and world news keeps his spirit alive on the show.
Thank you.
A very important question for you, though. And that's the answer. It's a real show now. On the subject, any thoughts for bringing back bringing on or back guests from the furry community? I'd love to hear your thoughts and such. Have a great and wonderful day. This from best regards from Squeaky Note. I'm not terribly sure. I mean, a lot of the people that used to be on 2 Cents, they've gone their own ways. They're doing their own things. I mean, it has been a long time. 2 Cents has been going since 2003. So it's been a very long time that we've been going. So they've gone on, with some of the things that they do, and they've got their own stuff going on. So for right now, I'm happy. I don't know. I think you're happy. It seems like it's all good.
I mean, the idea of having, guests from the fandom would be neat. It'd be cool. But I mean, that's, there's always the elephant in the room with, the fandom's perception of certain people, such as yourself.
Well, yeah, and that does happen too, yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, and then, people worried about what their perception will be if they, if they're, a guest on something like this with y'all.
Well, I mean, there's some people out there I know wouldn't mind, but, we'll see what happens. I don't know. There's a few people I know that I could, we could bring in and talk to, but, for now, I don't know.
If nothing else, it would make an interesting experiment to see what would happen.
Yeah, true. Let's see. Dear Burb and Hoof. How would I get a chance to get involved with 2 Cent Show and possibly appear on it? I'm unable to do the whole Patreon thing. Which means I couldn't be involved that way, so is there another way? Also, my girlfriend and I celebrated our 15-month anniversary on September 15th, which which was also her 43rd birthday. So if you could please do a shout out to her. She's in British Columbia, Canada, This is from Six String, and he says, P.S. Nay, bitch. There is a way that I can think, if you really want to, and I don't put this out enough, I really should. If you want to send in like ideas for just for the breaks, like Tyro is doing. If you want to send an idea for for breaks and things like that, then just record yourself doing a little bit of a an intro or something like that, or maybe one of the episodes. Send it into me, and I'll check it out. That's one way to get involved.
You know what else was really awesome? Like old school stuff. And there was one time where you actually got like people from the audience to record stingers. That would when you would come back from breaks.
Yeah. That's another way.
You used to do movie quotes, and then when the movie quotes sort of went out there, you got people to record your own stinger and now send them in, and we'll come out of breaks with those. Those were really awesome.
Yeah, that's something else we could do. That's something else we could do. Yeah.
Those segments, I mean, there's nothing wrong with trying out for a segment.
Yeah. There's lots of ways and if all of that is too complicated or too much, you can always get a hold of me on Twitter and actually send me things like news content and things that you'd like to see on the show. So there's always that.
And also, don't forget, I mean, interactions for the show. Some of the most important interactions with the show are these right here. These Dear 2 letters.
Exactly. I mean, we love these.
And the pictures, the pictures that come up during the break. I mean, yes, I mean they don't directly, the pictures don't. I don't know if the pictures have the names on the people who send them.
If they put them on them, then yeah, they do.
Yeah, I mean that's something to show your contribution. There's always things to do.
Yeah. Let's see here. Dear 2, after finding this one online, I thought to myself, if there's someone who needs to discuss the implications of exploding bull semen, it's 2 Gryphon. Here's hoping my missus is worth a laugh. Thanks for once more bathing the internet in your shenanigans. It was a really smelly without your attentions. Nice. This is from Bionix, and obviously we did that story. So this is one of the people that wrote in and sent that link again. And I'm glad people sent that in. I might have missed it, but that's just pretty awesome. Let's see. Hey, 2 and FH. Longtime listener, also so happy that 2 Cents is back on the air. My brother and I still joke about I ruined your face. Featherhoof, you're awesome. Keep being you. Hope you're both doing well. Aww. And 2's hip is healing. Phoenix doesn't get much in the way of strange news, and hearing what the rest of the country has to offer, it seems like we might get it off here easy, despite the heat. Anyway, just wanted to say I love the new show. It's a weekly staple in the house. Happy belated birthday, 2. Thank you very much. And from these dragons to the bird, and not a pony, not a pony. Horsey.
Not a pony.
You're not a pony. Keep on doing what you do. This is from Nix and Nix. Well, thank you very much for that letter. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We do enjoy, even if it's late, even if it's the late 2 Cent show.
Yes.
We still enjoy bringing this stuff to you because, we have a good time doing it, and we hope you have a good time listening. And finally, Dear 2 and Featherhoof, hi, how are you both doing? I hope you're doing well. I've got a few quick questions for you that I was curious if you could answer. First off, I was curious if you ever struggled with anxieties about growing up when you just started to figure out your life. Was it easier than your anxieties led you to believe? And second, what were the first jobs and or worst jobs or most awkward workplace experiences? And this is from Sinata. Well, when it came to growing up, I guess I didn't really have anxieties with that because I guess I was just kind of my life the way it went. I was just sort of forced into it. I was just kind of like, okay, here I am. What do I do? Well, I've got bills to pay, and I mean, when I was out of my mom's house or whatever, or my, I was alone, I'd be like, I got to pay bills. Okay, that means I need a job, so I got to go out and get a job. I get a job and I pay my bills.
Yeah.
There wasn't really there wasn't really anxieties in that way because I guess my life was kind of laid out to the point where it was on a path and it was like, okay, I have to do this and then that and then this and then that. And I didn't really have time to stop and think about it long enough to get anxious about it. I just had to do stuff. So that's kind of was me. I don't know about anybody else, but.
Well, growing up, when I was like, going through schools and whatnot, anxiety was like just an all-time high. Well, when you're going through school and whatnot, it's like your anxiety is constantly on high because like not only like you got teachers there constantly breathing down your neck and parents breathing down your necks to get good grades and do homeworks and make sure you do this and that, learn this and that and the other, do that, blah blah, this, that, and thing. But then you're also being told about all these how life is like when you start screwing up. Oh, well, you start screwing up now. Life's gonna be like this in the future. You're gonna be fucked up, and it causes all this anxiety. But like you said, when you're there. And it's like, shit, I gotta do this now. I gotta do it. Somehow, the anxiety, at least for me, I guess it sounds similar for yourself, it's sort of like, it just goes, well, there's no time to be anxious about it. It's not the time for it, and you don't have time for it. You just gotta go, well, I have to do it. And you can sit there and like freak out, like, oh, how am I gonna do this? But that doesn't help anything. You start to realize, I just gotta, okay, like you said, I gotta pay bills. I don't have a job, okay? Time to do what I gotta do to get a job or some kind of cash flow. And you start working towards all of it all the time. You don't have time to be anxious, and you don't really, think about being anxious. You don't think about it because you're doing it. Yeah, well,
it is a lot like, if you're standing on a staircase and you look forward and there's a stair in front of you.
Yeah.
Well, you've got to get to the top of the staircase, and when you're in that situation, you don't really say, okay, how do I step on this? Do I use my right foot? Do I use my left foot? Do I stand on it sideways? Do I use the rail? Can I grab under the rail? Is I gonna? No, you just step up because that's what you have to do, and you don't worry about it. You just do it, and so that was kind of what my life was like. It was just like. Next thing. As far as your second question goes, worst job I ever had was I worked in the kitchen at a hospital once.
Ooh, I'm sorry.
Well, it wasn't so much the work itself. It was the people I had to work with. Everybody was terrible. Everybody was horrible people. They were all horrible. Yep. And they wouldn't show me what I was supposed to do to, do the job right, but they'd gripe at me if I didn't do it right.
Yeah.
And I'd get a call from somewhere upstairs and, in the middle of the night, and they'd want something. They'd want a pudding. Okay, I'd bring up pudding. And I'd bring the pudding around, and the head nurse would just look at me and just like I wasn't there and just like, why are they sending these things up here still? And just like, go off and just like be all crazy about getting more food like it was not part of her job to actually deal with this, and just everybody was terrible. That was the worst job that I ever had. What about you?
Well, I think that they asked about first job. First job was paperboy. I legit was a paperboy.
Okay.
For a while, but my worst job, telemarketer. I was actually a telemarketer for a little while. Where I would call people and ask, would you like to donate to the Fraternal Order of Police or Fraternal Order of Firefighters and this, that, and the other?
Oh, man.
Now, at first it really wasn't the worst job. It didn't become a worst job until one day one of the people was like, oh, sure, I'll donate. How much of the percentage goes towards the actual thing you're collecting for? And there was a button on my screen to find that out. And I pressed it. 3% of the gross profits.
Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah.
I
was like, oh my God. I mean, of course, the occasional people who would curse you out and scream at you over the phone didn't help anything either, but...
Well, yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, I guess that's some of the best and worst parts of both of our lives. Just there, laid out there for you. If you guys want to send in a Dear 2 letter, send it to dear2letters@hotmail.com. We love your letters. We love your pictures. Send them on in. For now, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back with more 2 cents. But before that happens, need to run over my Patreon. Sign up to be one of my producers for just $5 a month. You can actually get full version of the show, which is usually about twice as long as what you're hearing here. And you get an MP3 download for your little music devices. You can play whatever, you can play it on whatever you want. Plus, you get a bunch of other little stuff and perks and this and that and stuff if you're a patron. So head on over to patreon.com/rantinggryphon and start your membership. And it helps all of us out. It helps us for the show. And so for everyone else, that's our show this week. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next week on the 2 Cent Show, where I will be splattered in bull semen. Oh, goodness. And now we got to go into our Patreon part. Hello, patrons. How are you guys doing?
Hey, patrons. Hi. Hi.
Now we get to talk about more edgy stuff.
Edgy? Ooh.
Yeah.
We got the edgelords over here. We get the black eyeliner and put the little teardrops on our cheeks.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I've just been thinking lately about, honestly, about MFF.
What about?
Okay, MFF.
I haven't been keeping up.
Okay, Milo. You heard about Milo?
Yes, that I did hear about.
Okay, so Milo decided that he wanted to go to MFF. Mm-hmm. And so he tried to sign up to go to MFF. Yep. Now he didn't break any rules. Didn't break any rules at all. But they said, no, you can't come. And so he kind of returned his, he sent this return letter and said, well, I've got a couple of rooms there and I can spend all the time I want to in the hotel if I want, so I'm coming. And
did he now?
Yeah, so he said, I'm coming and I'm going to be there. Well, because of the way that MFF treated Milo, guess who jumped on board?
Who?
The Proud Boys.
Who?
The Proud Boys.
I don't know who that is.
That's a group that is seen as, it's often seen as a very right-wing, close to Nazi group.
Oh, lovely.
And they have decided we're going to go and support Milo. Now.
Oh, god damn it.
So now they're showing up. But here's the thing.
Okay.
There's always somebody, and this always happens every time the Proud Boys march somewhere, and Proud Boys will get a permit to go and march, and they'll march down the street and they'll wave American flags, and they don't generally cause any trouble. But every time they do, there's another group that shows up to try and fight them, and that is Antifa.
Oh boy, this is gonna be.
So,
oh boy,
because MFF just turned down somebody for no reason, they're about to turn into a battleground. They're about to turn into a complete battleground. And you know what? Don't tell me I didn't see this coming. You know I did. I've been seeing this for a long time coming. I've been knowing this is what's going to happen. And so it looks like MFF might be the start of this whole thing. I don't know.
Well, see, the thing I was a little confused about is that, I mean, I can see why MFF wouldn't want Milo there because of like things he's done in the past and whatnot. But as far as I know, he didn't say he was going to a FurCon to cause any kind of shit or anything. He was just going to MFF.
Yeah, just going to MFF. And then there's the part of what has he done in the past? I mean,
apparently, what was it like? He's made some kind of like, what was it like transphobic or homophobic, some kind of like.
Well, okay,
statements or whatever.
He speaks out. Well, he is a gay person, so he speaks out, but he doesn't speak from the general like gay perspective that you hear a lot of people speak from. He's a Republican, but he hasn't really. He's just gone around and he's just been a speaker. He speaks. That's what he does. So he hasn't really done anything wrong. He's just said the wrong things. He's been, the person on that side of the aisle that speaks the things that, that tries to tell people that their feelings aren't the most important things, and here are the facts, and they are important.
Yeah.
And so that's why, of course, the left doesn't want him around. So, but...
Well, I'm not going to pretend like I know a lot about Milo. Like, when you told me about the whole Milo thing, was like, that was the first time I heard this dude's name. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Well, he's an interesting person, but, and I don't agree with everything he says either, by the way. There's some things he said that I'm like, no. But still, boy, they really are. It seems like they're turning this into a battleground, and I'm glad I'm staying free of it right now. I'm chilling out. So yeah. But
I don't know. If it were me, I mean, I've never run a con before, but wouldn't it? I don't know. You've run a con before.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be? I don't know how to put this. Like it would come off better to have to kick out a person for being belligerent and an asshole, as opposed to banning a person outright for thinking they were going to be an asshole or belligerent?
Well, that all depends on, I guess, your perspective on the whole thing. I mean, if I was running a con, I wouldn't ban somebody because the crystal ball told me that they might be an asshole. Because there are people who show up all the time at furcons that are an asshole. And you don't kick people out for things they may do in the future. That's just not something you do, so...
Right.
You know, you wait until they do something like an asshole, and then you kick them out. You know, that's when you kick them out. But,
I mean, as far as I know, Milo hasn't been to other furcons to have, like, a history of he does these things at furcons. You know, like, unlike somebody like Foxler or whoever the hell else who has a history of, you know, doing these things and renting out 1 billion rooms and doing all these other kind of weird things. You know, Milo was just sort of like, hey, here's this person just showing up at a furcon.
Yeah. So I'm not sure about that. But anyway, that's your furry news for the week. That and, well, there's been a lot of interesting things that have happened, but yeah, I can't wait to see what's gonna pop up here this next week, coming with politics and all kinds of stuff. There's just a bunch of stuff that's looking really crazy, but we'll find out what happens in the whole thing. But either way, let's move on to This Week in History.
And now, we examine the history.
Okay, so let's get into this and find out more about our history today. In 1992, NASA launched. Yeah, NASA launches the Mars Observer.
Really?
Yeah, that's where that happened. Were you alive in 1980?
No.
No. Okay. Well, unfortunately, and if you haven't seen this, I definitely, if anybody hasn't seen this, I definitely recommend it to go and see the original Carl Sagan's Cosmos, because it came out in 1980. So it's really, really beautiful. I mean, the way he talks, the whole universal calendar that he makes.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. It's just wonderfully amazing. Because he takes this big, and it's on the ground. It's this huge calendar, and it's on the ground. And it's like, okay, this whole calendar, it goes from January all the way to December 31st. You know, it's the whole year.
Okay.
He said, now, and he goes through the calendar, and he explains, you know, this is when the Earth was formed. This was when the first life was formed. This is when everything was formed. And he goes over, and he stands on the calendar on December 31st, in the very top corner, in the very, well, the very bottom corner of December 31st, where it just lights up just under his footstep. And he's like, boom, this is every human that has ever lived right here. And it's like, whoa, it really gives you a feeling of depth. You know, it's like every bit of history, every bit of time, everything that we know happened right under my foot. And it's like, holy shit.
That's neat.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's really, really neat. Carl Sagan was awesome. He was awesome. And his voice sounds like a slowed down Kermit the Frog. He's really cool.
Kermit the Frog here.
Kermit the Frog here. 1972, the year I was born, the very first Canadian satellite was launched.
Oh.
So, there's that.
About time. Jeez. God, Canadian.
I know.
Get with this.
Come on. They were too relaxed. They were too relaxed, and they were too sorry. They were too sorry to launch it.
They couldn't get to it because they were out in a boot. They were out in a boot. They couldn't get to it.
Yeah, that was it. In 1948, Honda Motor Company is founded.
Really?
So, yeah, 1948.
I always imagine they were older than that.
I kind of thought so too. In 1937, here, an unfortunate one here, the Bali tiger goes extinct. So, yeah, that's sad. Yeah. Now I got a good one for you here. I got a good one. You ready for this? I got this for you. Okay. You ready? Y'all ready for this? You ready for this? Okay. The year 1889. What happened in 1889?
I don't know. What happened in the 1889? You tell me.
Nintendo is founded.
Oh!
Yeah.
I like that.
They've been around a while. So
yes, they have. Back when they were a toy company.
Yeah, I think didn't they make
or trading card company. Are they a playing card?
I think they
Are they
made
a toy company or card company first?
I think they made board games for a while. I'm pretty sure they made board games and all kinds of...
That may have been something they did.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm just sitting here. I'm looking at... sorry.
You got the list, not me, bitch.
That's it. That's all of it. That's,
Oh, okay.
That's our week, but,
Oh, Nintendo, we love you so much.
We love you, Nintendo. Anyway,
I mean, it's... actually, I mean, I know it's not this coming week, but just this past week, because we missed it, it would have been Jim Henson's birthday just this past week.
Uh-huh.
I miss that man. That man was taken from us far too early.
Yeah. I miss his Muppets. I miss the things they did. And just like Family Guy said, you know, it's just weird when your favorite Muppet creator dies and all the Muppets sound different now. That just sucks, you know?
Well, I don't know. Like, that was a joke they made, but they do really good approximations.
Yeah, they're not too bad. They're not too bad. I can forgive them. But either way, let's go on to dumb laws.
Pay attention to the dumbness of our laws.
We're gonna do dumb laws from Louisiana. Wait, Louisiana?
Louisiana?
Louisiana.
Louisiana?
Louisiana. Louisiana. So yeah, number one, it's illegal to lie. It's also illegal. It's also illegal to make a promise and not keep it. So there you go. A lot of guilty people in Louisiana, I would say at this point.
What?
Yeah.
No, officer, I totally didn't, have sex with my sister Daisy May.
You're under. Well, it's always illegal to lie to the cops, but apparently it's illegal to lie to anybody in Louisiana. So I don't know. Number two, minors cannot play coin-operated foosball unless they're accompanied by an adult. No foosball. What? No foosball for minors. None. Can't have it. Sorry.
What the hell?
You're too young.
Are you kidding me?
They might eat the ball. Who knows? I don't know what they're gonna do with this damn thing. The kid's 13.
Is foosball the one with? Is the foosball the one with like the little soccer players that you like spin and they kick the little ball everywhere? Or?
It's the only foosball I ever know of.
Oh, that's not what I okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe it's because they're not tall enough to see over the top.
Maybe so. I still think they're just gonna eat the balls. So they're just gonna eat the damn ball, and then it's gonna cost the place money because they're gonna have to get the ball replaced. And so yeah, blah. Number three, if you're going to feed your hogs some garbage, you have to cook it first.
Well, I mean, that's just good and proper then. I mean, that's just rude to feed your hogs just cold garbage. I mean, what the hell, man?
If I was a hog and I wanted some food, I'd want that food to be cooked up nice and gourmet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I don't want me no slop. Don't give me no slop. I'm not an orphan. Nah. I'm your damn pig. Give me some good food.
Wait, are we actually putting pigs above orphans?
I think I just did. I think I just did that. It's like screw
you, little orphan Annie. Fuck you, little orphan Annie. We need to get this hog needs food more than you, bitch.
Yeah. You can have the gruel. We're gonna cook the hog's food. Yeah, is it? Oh. Welcome to 2 Cents, ladies and gentlemen. Number four, it's expressly illegal to steal a person's alligator. And it can lead up to a penalty of 10 years in jail.
That just sounds right and proper to me. I don't know about you, but some fool came in and took Leslie from me. No, we ain't having that shit. You're getting your ass put straight in jail.
I wonder if you have to cook an alligator's food. I wonder if hogs and alligators are more important than orphans in Louisiana, because seems like that's where we're going here. Let's see, number five, horses may not be tied to a tree on a public highway.
I have some questions.
Well, okay.
For instance, how are trees growing on a public highway?
That's a good one. That's a good place to start.
Secondly, as far as I know, I mean, at least here in Ohio, horses are not allowed on highways.
Yeah, I don't know. Although I think it's good because now you won't have horses getting run over by cars. I mean, that's good, right? I think.
Yes, I do appreciate that. I appreciate the law. I just have some questions.
Let's see, number 6. It's illegal to make a phone call and use any profane or indecent language.
Well, now we know what happened. Now we know why the 900 numbers all died out.
Yeah, it's all because of that. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Number 7. It's illegal to play a game on a neutral ground unless the area is designated as a playground. No stickball for you, kids.
What the fuck?
Can't do it. Yep, no more. Can't kick a ball around in the street. Actually, well, I kind of like that one. Because.
Well, what do you mean by a neutral ground? What does that mean?
It means I don't know how to explain it. Ground that is neutral.
Just a random patch of ground.
Yeah,
kids are allowed to just play on a patch of ground unless it is specifically designated a playground.
Yeah. So you can't kick balls around in the street. You can't just run around and just, I guess, play any game unless it's on a playground, you know? So,
stupid.
Well, I don't know. I can get behind that one because we have kids around here that just kick balls around and play around in the street when their cars are coming by, and they don't give a shit if cars are coming by. They're just, no, we're going to play our game. And what, you can't run them over. Well, you could run them over. You could run them over. And but as long as they're just kids and not, an alligator or a hog. So
no, because when I was little, we used to play this at a vacant lot. I mean, it wasn't a street or anything. It was just a vacant lot. According to this law, that would have been illegal because that was not designated a playground.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, somebody owned that lot. Somebody somewhere owned that lot. So I don't know.
Yes.
But let's see here. Number 8. In New Orleans, any rider of a bicycle, tricycle, or other vehicle propelled by hand or foot must have at least one hand on the handlebars at all times.
You hear that, Fred Flintstone?
Well, that and no unicycles, anybody? Can't have those. Can't ride around on a unicycle because no handlebars,
Well, maybe they have to hold their dick. They have to hold their own dick.
There you go. That's a handlebar. Yeah, you could just designate that as a handlebar. There you go. Number 9. This is the most sensible one I've seen on this list. You cannot shoot lasers at police officers. Okay.
Well, thank God for that.
That's understandable. I mean, in fact, I don't know any state where you can shoot lasers at police officers. You can't do that. And number 10.
I want a laser.
No reptiles are within 200 yards of a Mardi Gras parade. So you can't bring in your alligator to a Mardi Gras parade. I think that's unfair. I think that everybody should be celebrating the festivities and being happy, including reptiles. I think.
I'm sorry. I think that is being a little specious.
I think it is too.
If we're allowed to have the gay pride float and the trans pride float and the Irish pride float, I think we should be allowed to have the reptile pride float.
I think we could too. I think there's no problem with that. I mean, if I went to a Mardi Gras parade, Noodle can't come. Noodle!
That is a shame.
How do you feel about that, Noodle? Noodle doesn't like that. I can tell. Noodle's sitting over there frowning right now. Noodle wants to go to a Mardi Gras parade, and Noodle can't go because there's no reptiles allowed within 200 yards of a Mardi Gras parade. I don't like this. Where's our reptile pride, ladies and gentlemen? Where is it? Where is it?
I know what it is. I figured it out. I know why. Because reptiles don't have mammary glands, so you can't throw the beads at the reptiles for them to show off their boobs.
Oh, maybe that's it. I don't know. Maybe they can't take their shirts off. Oh, damn.
We can't have Reptiles Gone Wild, 17. The reptiles showing off their boobs.
Oh my God. Well, I'll tell you what, my man. Take our minds off this with some horse sense.
Does the horse have sense today?
Well, it's time for horse sense once again.
Yeah.
And this one might be a little heavier than most times, simply because it's just something that came from a personal experience this week. With something dealing with a certain person. I'm not gonna get into it because I know they'd be sensitive about it if I gave out names and everything, but here's a very simple piece of horse sense for everybody out there. Everyone has problems. Everyone's got some problems. Sometimes they're, little problems. Sometimes they're big problems. Sometimes they're personal problems. The thing is, though, everyone suffers from problems from time to time. Everyone has to deal with some problems. There is literally, I've been asked, someone actually asked me, they're like, I've been having this problem. Again, not going to go into it because sensitivity and whatnot, but should I ask for help? Should I go seek help for my problem? To be perfectly honest, the answer to that question should always be, and is always, yes. Yes, you should. It doesn't matter what that problem is. If you're asking that question, you already know that you need help. It's like you're asking for some kind of permission. It doesn't make me look like weak or anything to get help, does it? It doesn't matter what it looks like. If you need help, get that help. I mean, it doesn't matter that I'm having a problem with money right now, and it just, you need help. Ask for help. It's like, I've been having these thoughts and stuff like that. Get some help. There's no shame in asking for help. There's what, 7 billion people on the planet. There's somebody out there to help you if you need it. I mean, you're not alone in the world. You're only alone in the world if you isolate yourself.
Yeah.
And if you isolate yourself, if you don't ask for help, that's the only time you're alone. It's like, the world's lonely, no one understands me. It's like, then seek help and find somebody who will understand you. There's somebody out there for you. There's somebody out there to help you. Sometimes in the help of, in the form of a professional shrink, sometimes in the form of a complete and utter stranger. Like literally, like I've actually been helped by a complete stranger before, by just talking to somebody. Like, hey, I literally, it was on a college campus once before. I was just having a really hard time of it, and I just saw somebody in the food court, and that was just by themselves, and I just said, like, excuse me, I know you don't know me. This is getting a little deeper in my own life than I actually meant to. I don't know if I should talk about the story. But I was like, look, can I just talk to you? I've been having a hard time of it. Do you mind if I just talk? I asked, can I just talk at you for a minute? And they were like, sit down, just sit down. And I talked, and I just let it all out to them. And they just talked back, and we just talked. Like, we sat there in that food court for like 2 hours. Just talking, and he was just there to just let me talk to him. He didn't know who I was until that day. In fact, I walked away from that day, and I don't think I've ever talked to him since. And he has no idea how much he helped me that day. It was just, there shouldn't, if you ever find yourself going, should I ask for help? The answer is, and always shall be, yes. Because just do it. That's my horse sense for this week. Like I said, I'm trying to be as vague as possible to spare some feelings, but it's just it is what it is.
Yeah. I would tend to agree with you on that. I very much would. And
it doesn't have to be about like severe problems, like, suicide or anything like that, It's like you're having problems, keeping yourself fed. You're having problems keeping clothes on your back or a roof over your head. There's literally no shame in asking for help.
Yeah. Well, and, people sometimes don't realize this, but it's like you said, at some point, everybody in the world is going to need help at some point.
Yes.
Everybody will.
Yeah.
That's just not something you're ever going to get through life without.
Yes.
So,
and it's not that, and you know what? It's not going to be one time either.
No, it'll
it's
be
going to
more
happen
than
multiple
once.
times in your life.
Yep.
Many times in your life. And there's nothing wrong with asking for help. Ever.
Well, I agree with you there.
Didn't mean to bring it down. It's one of those things that happened to me this week. And
no, that's okay. That's fine. I mean, I'm good with that. But no, and I think you're right. Everybody is going to need help now and then. Yeah, you should definitely look for it if you need it. But
yep.
For the time being, we're going to move on to our last segment of the show, Love It or Shove It.
You must love it or shove it.
All right, Hoofs, what's your first Love It of this week?
This was an awesome thing I saw on the internet. This, I believe they said it was an Argentinian Burger King.
Oh, neat.
Had this thing called, huh?
I said neat.
Yeah, they did this thing called Day Without Whopper. Do you know what they did? People came to the Burger King and they said, "We would like a Whopper," and they went, "No,
What?
go to McDonald's, go buy a Big Mac." And you know why they did that? It's because McDonald's was doing this annual fundraiser they did for donating $2 to children with cancer, like the program Children with Cancer, for every Big Mac that they sold.
Oh, wow.
So they literally, every person who was coming into that Burger King, they were telling them, go to the McDonald's.
That's pretty cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, I was just like, oh my god, that's like one of the most like these are competing, franchises, and they were just like, no, get your ass over there.
That is actually really cool. That is really cool.
That was badass. I loved it.
My first Love It this week was the, of course, the Area 51 raid. Now, I know that,
well, if you want to call it that.
Well, kind of, yeah. I know 1 million people didn't show up, but I'm actually glad they didn't. But even the ones who did, they all set up, they put on costumes, they camped out. There was a little, there's a DJ booth. They had a couple of bands, and they sat around and they partied, and they just talked about aliens, and they shared their passion for, alien stuff, and then they went home. And it was kind of like a tiny little Burning Man. And
basically, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I thought what it turned out to be was really cool. Even though I think there was like 7 people actually tried to run in, and of course they were arrested naturally. And it's lucky they were arrested. Yeah, it's lucky they were just sent to jail, because they could open fire on them at that point if they wanted to, but they didn't. So
those kind of government installations, like it's literally they have every right to shoot you.
Oh yeah, well they didn't. I think it was 2003. It wasn't until 2003 that the American government even admitted that Area 51 existed. Yeah, we had pictures of it, and they're like, "What? That doesn't exist. We have no idea what you're talking about. You're just, that's not a thing. We don't know what that thing is. We have no idea." So yeah, it's a good thing that they just got arrested, but the rest of the people there,
lucky for them.
Yeah, the rest of the people there had a good time, and they just partied out in the desert for a few days and then went home. And that to me, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
You have another Love It?
I do. And of course, because I'm me and every one of these Love It shows, I have to have at least one of these Love It's that's about video games. Video games. One of the best games of all time, released on the Nintendo Switch this week.
Of all tomb.
Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition came to the Switch.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Mm-hmm. They have one of the best games of all time, mobile. Hell yes, please.
Yep. Yeah.
That, and it also shows like an even greater trend in Microsoft being just sort of like, well, we have our exclusives here. Let's put our exclusives on other consoles.
I like that idea as well.
If they did it with Cuphead, where Cuphead was a Microsoft exclusive and also on PC, but PC is still Microsoft, but
Oh yeah.
But that came out on Switch, earlier this year. I mean, I love this trend. I love this trend It's like exclusives are starting to die. I love it.
Yeah, me too. They should go everywhere. Everybody should be able to stick their dick into every exclusive possible and make it not exclusive anymore. Nobody wants to put a ring on a goddamn video game. Give it to everybody so they can all enjoy it and it can get really, really pregnant. You know, that's just the way. That's what I think.
I don't want to imagine hyper pregnant Ori. I don't want to imagine that shit. That's gross.
Oh god, no, not Ori. Ugh, no. No, Ori is too cute to impregnate, so no. Unless, of course, she's around when the bull semen blows up, and then, of course, who knows? So, we'll see. But, let's go to the, shove-its. I have a shove-it. I don't know if you guys, know about this one, but, and we don't know if this is a for sure thing, but Sony has been poking, prodding, and dropping little hints that they might make a remake of Princess Bride. Now, that will cause a revolution. That will cause absolute revolution. Sony will be nuked if that happens. It's not gonna, it won't get any better than that because that game has got a big cult following and you just don't, what did I say?
Game.
Okay. Wow. So yeah, that's not something that people are going to take very lightly if that happens.
We need to get those people who raided Area 51. We need to raid Sony headquarters to stop that shit from happening.
Yeah, that needs to not happen at all. Period. Ever in the world.
Ever. No. Well, it's funny because I even. Did you see what's his name? Cary Elwes.
Who?
The guy who played the Dread Pirate Wobboats.
Oh, okay.
The main character, the Man in Black.
Yeah, yes, I have seen him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was his name William? I think his name was William. Yeah, the character. Well, the actor who played the character, even he was all like, it's like, he made a joke. He's like, there's a perfectly good, a lack of perfectly good movies in this world. It'd be a shame to ruin this one.
That would be not. Yeah, that's what needs to happen. And besides, this is. I mean, Princess Bride is why Rob Reiner even existed on this planet. I mean, come on. What else? What else did he do? What else did he do that was worth a crap? Nothing. We played Meathead on All in the Family. That was about all. And so yeah, it just that was it. Yeah. So this movie was why he existed. There's no reason to just wreck it. So anyway, on to your shove it.
My first shove it is here in Ohio. They changed a few months back. They changed the law that tobacco, you have to be 21 to get tobacco, and that goes into effect in October.
Oh,
they said leave us October. It's soon.
Why is that a shove it?
Because I don't smoke. You know that about me because my asthma won't let me. But well, that and I don't want to. I tried once and I almost fucking died. But I think it's more bullshit because I don't think even alcohol should be 21. Because I'm so tired of like, okay, you're 18 now, you're legally an adult, you have these, you have to do these, adult things and responsibilities. You can be drafted into the military, you can die for your country, but you're not allowed to have these things, even though you're an adult. You're a legal adult. By the law, you are legally an adult. But we still say you're not allowed to have this or do this.
Yeah.
That I think is horseshit.
Yeah, I'll give that one to you. Do you have another shove it?
I do. I have one more.
Okay, one more shove it.
It's a sad one. Aaron Eisenberg. Do you know who Aaron Eisenberg was?
I don't think I know that name.
He was the actor who played Nog on Star Trek DS9.
Okay.
The young Ferengi, the one that was friends with Jake Sisko.
Yeah.
That actor, he died.
Oh, yeah.
Between this recording and the last.
Well,
they're still not saying what killed him. Like the cause of death is still they're not saying. But he's apparently had like a long history of like medical problems.
That would be my my second shove it is that Rick Ocasek also died last week.
Oh.
The lead
I did
singer
not
of the
know that.
Cars, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he died as well. So, not some not good news there. But
Shove it, God.
yeah, we're just gonna make sure we leave you guys with the worst news ever before we take off. But we do have to scoot for now. Guys, thank you so much for watching the show. We always love making the show for you, even if it's late.
Late bird.
Late bird and filled with hogs and crocodiles that are more valuable
Who are
than
better than
orphans.
orphans.
Yeah, but for now, we're going to take off, and you guys know all the addresses, and you know where to go. You know everything. So we're going to scoot for now.
That's because they're smart.
They're smart. Because they're our patrons. They've got to be smart.
Hell yeah.
That's why they're smart. So we're going to take off for now. Guys, thank you so much for watching the show, and we will see you again next week.